February is a month where we see a lot of ups and downs, and we're starting with the jet stream because I want you to see this huge ridge we have across the west. That's going to continue. Northwest flow staying in place across a lot of the Great Lakes through the weekend into the southeast, keeping temperatures cold here, but there are some signs that changes are on the way. First, we're going to get this trough that digs in across the west, and your storm pattern starts to favor more cold in the west as we get toward the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. My mind is still there today, and then my question is, as this energy moves into the west coast, what happens to it as it crosses the country? Are we in for some kind of sneaky surprise that could surprise you and me both? And I'm telling you, February is a month of surprises, and with the cold air not too far off to the north, I would want to watch anything that starts to develop in this southern stream energy, or at least do we get some subtropical energy phasing with the northern branch of the jet, and then boom, it's on. Again, something to watch over the next couple of weeks. I would argue, maybe not a huge surprise, but an interesting setup with this weak system that's moving through parts of West Virginia, and Kentucky, also into the south. Rain on the southern side. We've got one wave moving through as we head into the overnight into early Wednesday morning. Could put a little bit of light snow into parts of the mid-Atlantic, and then it moves away. Now you have another ripple of low pressure digging in with this trough. It's starting to dive into parts of Arkansas and Missouri, but on the east side of it, enough lift that we're starting to see a little bit of snow show up across parts of southern West Virginia, southwest Virginia, even into parts of western North Carolina. To me, this doesn't look like a big deal, but yeah, how about that? It's coming together here with some snow. Our next Clipper system also diving out of Saskatchewan into Manitoba. It looks like it's going to be pretty much north of Winnipeg, but it's going to make a straight shot right down to Michigan, putting some light snow into the UP, also the rest of Michigan, all the way eventually down into the Ohio Valley as this next blast of Arctic air builds in. So Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, North Carolina. We're going to see some light snow out of this. Also into New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire. Snow showers will be around. And then this thing's going to try to bomb out off the East Coast. I think it's going to be too far away, but it's going to get windy behind this into the Northeast while our ridge holds on to the west. We're starting to see signs of that breakdown, though. Look at the precip moving into the Pacific Northwest Monday into Tuesday of next week. We also start to see this drop a little bit further to the south into parts of the Sierra. So we could actually get some snow here. Warmer temperatures also starting to build north up into parts of the Ohio Valley, into the Great Lakes on the northern side. We could actually see rain as far north as PA, but maybe a little bit of ice into New York and to parts of the rest of New England as we see this warm air start to move in from the southwest. Now we're watching these pieces of energy that start to dig in the upper levels across the far southwest. This could put some precip into the Four Corner states. And notice the trend, right? Precip is starting to move back into the west. So again, I told you, we might see some surprises this month that could surprise maybe you in the west. You've not seen much wintry weather. You've not seen much precipitation. I do still feel like that's going to change. And look, do you see this? If you are watching across the south, a pretty vigorous piece of energy trying to show up pretty far out, right? We're looking at next Friday. This is so far away. I just want to show you the pattern that we're in. We'll watch anything that swings along here for some kind of development. The European from today says not much is going to happen with this. The GFS tries to develop something a little bit stronger looking, but again, it's still pretty far out. We've got a long way to go before we get there. And yeah, the pattern supports it, I do believe, in the long range. Snow over the next 24 hours. We'll see a little bit, again, moving out of Saskatchewan and Manitoba into parts of Minnesota, really into the Arrowhead. Most of that snow falling much further to the east. There's the snow that's going to be falling right now. We've had some winter weather advisories across parts of West Virginia. I do believe those went back into Ohio. I'm not 100% sure. Make sure you check weather.gov to see what you're under. But as we head into tomorrow, we start to see the snow expand in from the northwest. But look how this area is starting to light up on the European, getting a little bit heavier here into parts of southwest Virginia, maybe even northern North Carolina. It's going to be so marginal for snow, above about 1,500 feet, but a coating possible, even as far north as D.C. It's trying to show some even out toward the Virginia coast. I don't know. It doesn't look like a big deal, but cold is moving back in, and a widespread light snow as we head into Friday night and Saturday. By the time it's all said and done through the weekend, to parts of the Appalachians, somebody could see an additional 6 inches of snow at the highest elevations through the multi-day snow event in some of these areas. And then we look beyond this. I mean, really, who knows? It's really far out. The GFS is trying to crush something around the middle of the month. We shall see. Let's look at the temperatures, though, over the next couple of days. Okay, this is where we are tomorrow. Now, it was relatively warmer today. Tomorrow, we're back down into the 30s across Tennessee after we climbed into the 40s, some places close to 50. You can see how the cold also pushing back into the south as we head into Thursday morning. So temperatures dropping into the 30s across Florida, highs in the 30s and 40s for a lot of the south, and then teens are back across a good part of Ohio, Indiana, into PA, into the northeast. Warmer temperatures start to slide north across parts of the lower Mississippi Valley, up towards Tennessee, into Kentucky, back into the 50s and 40s. But the cold slides back in as we head into Saturday and Sunday. It doesn't really make a shot towards the Gulf Coast into Louisiana, although it's going to start to really warm up, in fact, really when you really look at it heading into next week. And that trend will start to work north. So these were your numbers will be on Monday. If you're looking for a thaw, I want to give you some hope if you're looking for it. This would be next Tuesday. So 1 week from today, we could be pushing 50 in Chicago, maybe Des Moines into the mid-50s. Lexington, Louisville up to 50, Charleston, West Virginia in the 40s, even in the Northeast up into PA, getting very close to freezing. But it's going to take a little longer to get the cold out of the far Northeast, and I have some questions as to can we really scour it all out with the pattern that we're in. Further to the west, here's a look at your temperatures on Wednesday. As we head into Wednesday night to Thursday morning, temperatures dropping back down into the 30s across Texas, warming up into the mid-60s, close to 70. A lot of 60s, too, all the way up into Montana. Way above average for this time of year. That will start to change some. It's going to take a little bit of time, though. So we've got warmer weather Friday into Saturday. Look at this. It starts to expand east across Nebraska, into Kansas. Oklahoma City along the Red River could be near 70 as we approach Saturday into Sunday. And then we start to turn colder across the west heading into next week. It's going to take a little while. Another mild day tomorrow, also into really Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday. I'm going to push this pretty far out in time, really into the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. We finally start to see some cooler weather, at least highs back in the 40s and 50s versus the 60s and 70s in interior areas also cooling down. But it's been much colder before. This isn't like extreme cold. This is just kind of back to normal winter a little bit. All right. That's a live update. Hope you'll subscribe and come back. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping over. And don't forget to hit that like button. Hope you have a great night. See you next time. Or morning, whenever you're watching.